Well, welcome to the stage, ladies. Thank you for the lovely introduction of them, Chris. So, Teresa, we thought we might start with you. Talking about managing your child's asthma. So there is a brilliant booklet that you would have picked up. I know you've picked it up because we've run out downstairs at their stand. And it's A5 size, and it's beautiful. What were the thoughts behind producing this resource?
Erin, for some years now, we've realised that our resources maybe weren't hitting the mark with health literacy. They were quite wordy, quite complicated, and we identified also that there was a need for a parents' resource. We carried out an audit that looked at all our resources, and we highlighted the urgency really for a parents' resource.
That's fantastic. And so what's the best way to use the booklet?
So I don't know if people did pick up the booklet because we have run out, but it's not designed to be read all in one sitting. There's quite a few pages to it, so it's designed in the same format as the Well Child booklet. It's for parents to take away. They can use it to fill in their child's triggers, their child's medications, names and contact details for health professionals that they're involved with. And it's the perfect tool for you to sit down with your patient and just go through certain sections with them, so you don't have to cover off everything all in one sitting.
Very cool idea. And can you tell us how this resource is different to others?
We carried out, the development of the resource was carried out with a company that has worked on resources for the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education, so they've got a wealth of knowledge in design, cultural competency and appropriateness, and health literacy. So those were the main reasons why I went with the company that we used, and they guided us in the best way to produce the resource.
And there's also an online resource. So what makes this different from the booklet?
Okay, so all the information that's in the booklet is mirrored in the online resource. We recognise that not everybody takes in information in the same way. Not everybody learns in the same way. And we felt it was important that we presented the information in different formats, in different media. So all the information that's in the booklet has been moved across to the online resource. But if you don't want to read it, there's a narrator, so you can listen to the information. There's animations that are nice and fun to watch. And there's videos of real-life situations. And I don't know if Moana's still in the room, but Moana features quite heavily in those videos.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've got a star.
We do indeed. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so if you didn't manage to pick up a booklet, come and speak to Teresa or one of the team about either ordering one or going onto the online platform. So, Hayley, we'd like to talk to you next, because we have an exciting new My Asthma app. So can you tell us what inspired the foundation to create this?
Yes, so we launched the app on the 2nd of May this year, on World Asthma Day, and the reason why we wanted to create the app is to make asthma education a little bit more accessible and to create an asthma action plan that was always carried around with you, basically. We know nowadays that almost everyone carries a smartphone almost 24/7, and so by having that access, it creates a means where people can have asthma information at the touch of a button.
Yeah. There's one lady here who doesn't. I was speaking to her last night at the cocktail party. I wonder if she's here. She's got one of the old school phones like my dad still has. Yeah.
That's Robin.
Yeah, no, I just realised it was Robin. No, I'll put you in it again, Robin. Maybe. Sorry, love. So how can this asthma app help asthma management?
So the key point in helping asthma management is that we've got some asthma action plans included in the app. So on the launch, we released all of the adult plans, so 3-stage, 4-stage and SMART plan. And then very recently, within the last few weeks, we've launched the child asthma plan within the app as well. So the app can be used by anyone. It's downloadable for anyone over the age of 12 years. And we think that that's really good that parents will be able to use the child plan with their children, download that on their phones. And the way that the asthma plans will work is that we encourage them to be filled in with a GP or a nurse or health professional. And from basically, you just have to go into the app, you go into the section Your Plan and fill it in. It's got all of the same information as on the printed plans. Yeah.
And the app can also help people in the case of an emergency, can't it?
Yes, so the app has a first aid section, and basically that section uses the acronym of asthma. So each letter stands for a different step in the asthma first aid stages. And through that, people can easily access that information and run through the steps. In the case of an extreme emergency, there's a quick access button to call 111.
Wicked. And what information is included in the Lune section of the app?
So in the Learn section, it includes all the key asthma information, things like how asthma affects your lungs and what the condition is, the signs and the symptoms, different medications talking about that, different triggers, and it also has links to lots of our other resources that might be helpful.
Cool. And just in case people are unaware, how can we download it?
Okay, so it's very easy to download. You just go to either the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, and you just type in My Asthma and it will come up.
Awesome.
The icon is our logo, so it's really easy to identify.
Yeah, it is. Chris, do you want to do Teresa?
Yeah. If we share a mic for this one, it's fine. No, it's cool. I was just waiting my turn patiently. So I understand there's a new updated version of the asthma and COPD fundamentals, and that's available. Can you tell us all a little bit about that?
Okay, so in April this year, we were very excited to launch our e-learning series. So that's the Asthma and COPD e-learning series, which is available online. We worked in conjunction with Respiratory New Zealand. They gave me a lot of advice about the education side of things, obviously how people learn best. So we did a lot of discussions and backwards and forwards and got some input from some experts, and yes, decided that the way forward was to move with the times.
There we go. So how does the old course differ from the new one? What's the story there?
So the old course was delivered by some wonderful trainers, of which we've got some in the room, some exceptional trainers. It was delivered as a 2 half-day course with a week in the middle. So it was very, very information intensive. They had a lot of information that they had to deliver to the participants. So what we've done is we've taken all that information and we've popped it online so that people can go in and out. So with the online series, you can learn at your own pace, in your own time, on any device. So if you're on the train and you want to do it on your phone, if you're on the beach and you want to do it on your iPad, whatever. So yeah, it's really accessible. All that information that was in the PowerPoint that was delivered has been put online. It's very interactive.
Fantastic. And so I'm at the beach and I've got my iPad. How long does it take? How long will it take me on average to get through the course?
Well, you'd have to use a lot of sunscreen, for a start. We ran a pilot in the Wairarapa, actually, and I don't know if some of the ladies are here that were on the pilot. There we go. Yeah. So we ran a pilot, and the nurses obviously went through all 4 modules and then fed back to us with how long it took them on average to complete. So some people completed it quicker than others, and some took a little bit longer, but on average it was about 12 hours.
Okay.
There's 4 modules. So there's the asthma fundamental module. There's the managing your asthma module, managing asthma module, managing COPD, and then health promoting practice. So there's 4 modules within that e-learning series.
So there's quite a bit in there. And what have you had any feedback from people who have completed?
Oh, I have, and it's on the screen somewhere for you to read. Have we gone past it?
E-learning series, there it is. Yeah.
Maybe you want to read that for me.
Yeah.
I
Anytime, any place, at your own pace, I'll do my radio voice. Participant feedback. It's extremely important as a new respiratory nurse to have this knowledge. I can follow a structure that allows me to provide best practice care and advice. And then one more, I think this course would well benefit all nurses and GPs at my practice. A reminder about holistic care. I feel much more confident with all of the inhalers now. That's awesome. Speaks for itself, doesn't it? I hear you've got a special promotion running at the moment. Can you tell me about that?
Okay, so as it's summer, and we thought people have got plenty of time on their hands, and they'll be heading to the beach or a bit of time over Christmas by the tree. So what we're offering is a special reduced rate for over the summer period, 25% discount on the full price. And as long as it's carried out between the 1st of November and the 31st of January.
There you go. Nice little window to get that in there. And for people wanting to do more than the e-learning series, is there anything else available from you guys?
What we have designed is, so as I said, all that information has been put online. But we know that online isn't the perfect way for everybody to take on information. So we do run a masterclass, which is going to be delivered by our regional trainers. They've been trained up to deliver the class. So people come back to the masterclass and they can discuss all of the things they've learned online. If there's anything that they don't understand, it can be highlighted and gone through. And then all that information that they've learned can be set to scenarios. So it's a scenario-based learning, but it's health literacy as well. So our trainers have been trained to deliver health literacy so that people can implement that into their practice when they're faced with their patient.
Fantastic. Sounds great.
Now, next up, we were going to talk to Teresa again, but it's on Sailor the pufferfish. So we thought, who better than Sailor's best mate?
Oh, me.
So you and your best mate, Sailor, have been doing an amazing job delivering education to children in the North Island. FYI, you're getting a little bit of afternoon tea dropped off.
Yes, this is afternoon tea. Do open it and eat it.
Children in the North Island, was it something like 19,000?
So this year we saw 19,000 kids in schools. I think the average is, I think earlier in the conference I said it was about 14,000 on average, but actually this was our biggest year ever, I think. So 19,000 kids, and it was a monster year, and many, many weeks away, and awesome. And Sailor did so well, performing in, where did we go? We went a lot of Auckland and Hamilton, it's all a blur now. Hamilton, which is Wellington, that's right. So those are the main ones. Yeah, and it's really great getting into areas for the first time. So there was quite a few places which we hadn't been before where Sailor was able to go and make a bit of an impact, which is awesome. Yeah.
Gosh, good on you, because that takes a lot of energy.
It does.
It takes a lot of energy.
And next year we're doing 80 shows in the South Island, and I was talking to Robin. About almost half of them, about 40 shows are already booked up for next year, and we're touring in the last week of term 1 and then select weeks throughout term 2. So if you've got spaces and friends you want to, schools and early childhood centres that people want to get Sailor into for a show.
Yeah. How much do they have to pay? What does it cost?
Oh, it's absolutely free.
What?
So it's a free half-hour musical experience for children where they learn about asthma in a really fun and colourful way, and it's interactive from the moment that we start. And when we produced the show 5 years ago, we really wanted kids to never be bored in the show, and so that's been part of our success, is that there's lots of stuff to do, and they sort of take that from the school to the dinner table at night time, which is great.
And what about the school itself? Do you follow that up, and what do they get out of it after the show?
What do they get out of it, Teresa?
So what we do when they've had a Sailor show is Robin bless her little cotton socks, contacts every school just to confirm that they've got an asthma policy in place. If they haven't, then she sends them an example of one that they can use. She checks that they've got an asthma emergency kit, that their inhaler is up to date, they know how to access a reliever inhaler should they need one, and we send out examples of action plans that they can use. Once all these things have been ticked off, then they can become asthma friendly, and they get a fantastic certificate that they can hang in their reception area.
Yeah. Well, that just seems like a win-win. That's a must. Thank you for that. Vanessa, the lovely Vanessa. Breathe Better September. What is Breathe Better September for those of us that don't know?
So Breathe Better September is the Foundation's annual Respiratory Awareness Month, which takes place in September, and it started in 2016. So we wanted an awareness month for Kiwis to show their support for better breathing and healthy lungs, and also to highlight not only asthma but all of the other respiratory conditions. So some of the stats that we use quite frequently is over 700,000 Kiwis have a respiratory condition. It's the third leading cause of death and costs the country $6 billion each year. So we wanted a way to highlight these stats to the general public. So this year, actually, Erin was one of our celebrity ambassadors on board, and alongside Isaac Luke, who was our other celebrity ambassador. So we made social media videos to raise awareness about asthma and respiratory conditions. We generated press coverage and provided information on how people can, manage their conditions on the Breathe Better September website. We also this year had, for the first time, a Healthy Lungs Challenge. So we used a website called everydayhero.com, and people signed up and created a challenge, challenged themselves to improve their lung, sort of like exercise. One of the participants was a 7-year-old girl named Sophie from Auckland. She was diagnosed with asthma at the age of 2 and bronchiectasis when she was 4, so she was quite passionate about raising awareness about respiratory. And her challenge was to do either walking or yoga every day to raise money and awareness. She actually ended up raising over, I think it was $1,500, which was really great, but it was also great because she raised awareness within her local community, and she was in the local newspaper there, and also raised awareness amongst her family and friends.
Cool. That's so awesome. Speaking of respiratory, tell us about the Respiratory Awards.
Yes, so the Respiratory Awards is an event that the Foundation holds every 2 years, and it's been in place for quite a while now. There's 2 types of awards. One is the Achievers, and then one is for journalists that write stories or publish stories about respiratory in New Zealand media. But I'll just talk a little bit more about the Achievers Awards. So they honour and celebrate achievements of New Zealanders living with a respiratory condition, and at the moment, nominations are open for people with a positive attitude that achieve their goals despite living with a respiratory condition. So we're looking for any types of achievements across areas such as sporting, leadership, academic, cultural, and community. And achievements could even be managing a respiratory condition well and living a active and full life.
And what categories does the Achievers? What categories do you have?
So we've got 3 asthma categories, so they're divided by age group, so asthma 5 to 12, asthma 13 to 18, and asthma adult. And then we have open age categories for COPD, other respiratory conditions, and a Cody Forbes Award for courage.
Can people nominate themselves? Can I nominate myself?
Yes, Erin, you could actually nominate yourself. Nominations...
I wouldn't, but I'll encourage others to.
Nominations are open. So usually people are nominated by somebody else, but they can nominate themselves if they like. So anyone with a respiratory condition can be nominated, and this is where we need your help. As in the past, many of the nominations have come from health professionals that deal with people on a day-to-day basis. So if you know anyone that particularly stands out as someone who has a positive attitude and is managing their condition as best as they can and really putting in an effort, visit our website and fill out a nomination form.
What about, for example, Rachel yesterday, who was speaking one of the workshops? Can you nominate a parent of someone who has a respiratory condition?
Yes, you can nominate a parent. So last year at the awards we had a mother and son who won the Code of Forbes Award for Courage as a mother and son team, as we do recognise that it is, often involves teamwork to manage respiratory conditions well. So Davis is the boy on the right-hand side of the slide that you can see there. He was 12 years old at the time from Tauranga. He lived with life-threatening brittle asthma, allergies and anaphylaxis. He nearly died at the age of 7 with his first asthma attack, and his mum, Regina, actually had to do CPR, and she just constantly is his advocate and strives to manage his condition as best as possible. And we have a quote about his mum from one of their nurses, which is, "He has an amazing mum who is solely responsible for this fellow being alive. She recognises his symptoms and gets him to the hospital ASAP."
That's awesome. And I think I speak for all of us, we all probably got someone in mind that we would like to nominate already. So when we do nominate people, what can we get out of it?
Well, when you nominate someone for an award, you're giving them probably one of your patients, the opportunity to be recognised and also celebrated and honoured at a national awards night. The winners are flown to Wellington and provided with one night's accommodation to attend the ceremony, and we're sure this is a night and an event that they won't forget for the rest of their lives. The awards are also in place to inspire others in the community, and managing a respiratory condition can be the difference between letting it dominate someone's life or living a healthy life and achieving their goals.
Yes, absolutely. Just because we have asthma, there should be no reason we can't achieve those goals. And it's a really special night. So, yeah, please, let's get some nominations going. Thank you so much. Oh, one more question. Baby mama, when are you expecting? When's the due date?
I'm expecting a baby on the 18th of March next year.
Oh, that's exciting. We'll write that down in our diaries. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us up on stage. I know you're a little bit nervous about it, but you nailed it.